Welcome to the San Felipe Stakes live reaction watch along here on Trust the Profits. Welcome, friends, to our San Felipe Stakes live reaction watch along. I'm joined here with Colin Sheehan. Colin, they're loading them into the gate here in the San Felipe Stakes. We had a big scratch earlier in the day with National Treasure. What are you looking for and expecting out of this race?
Well, you have the one true horse with Tim Yakteen, which is Practical Move, number 3. And then you've got the 4 horses from Bob Baffert that have moved into the Yakteen barn. So I'd be interested to see with Practical Move, how he runs compared to those other Baffert horses, because that is a storyline, regardless if you want to talk about it or not, is horses that were really running well under Baffert moving under Yakteen. And I'd be interested to see how Practical Move does.
Yep, and they're off. And not surprisingly, we're seeing a couple of horses going out to the lead. That is Go Rocket Ride for Richard Mandela and Hijazi. These were the 2 horses everyone kind of expected to go out early on the lead, and Hijazi is going to take them into the first turn on the lead. A little bit of trouble there for Bluegrass Go-Go as they go into the turn. Practical Move sitting a stalking trip with Fort Bragg sitting on the outside. Colin, everybody, all the major players are kind of in good spots so far. What are your thoughts in this first 23-1 opening quarter?
Well, first, my thoughts are seeing Go Rocket Go at 5-2, who hasn't gone the distance, has only raced 6 furlongs, had that impressive first race. Are you intrigued by him being the favorite?
I was a little surprised he went down as much as he did. Obviously, the scratch of National Treasure, I think, did impact things, but this horse has been training with a target in front of him, so he should want to kind of chase a little bit more. But we will see as Hijazi continues to take them into the far turn, and the opening quarter is 47-1, and the pace now starts to quicken. You see Fort Bragg up on the outside. Go Rocket Ride as well, starting to make a move. Practical Move on the inside, trying to find some space there and moving up now next to Hijazi. And they're into the stretch. Hijazi going wide and kind of impacting the few horses, but Practical Move gets out there and is going to the lead. This is the Tim Yakteen horse that we talked about, the real Tim Yakteen horse. And the real Tim Yakteen horse, please stand up, because he is going to be the winner of the San Felipe Stakes. And I believe that is the number 8 horse, Go Rocket Ride, who ends up finishing up the exacta. So, Colin, that was a pretty exciting race there coming into the stretch. And we saw Practical Move coming off a really long layoff at the Los Alamitos Futurity get the win.
Yeah, and I think number 10, Skinner, got up for 3rd there. That was the horse that won maiden last time out. So, as I mentioned, Practical Move was your one horse that has been racing in the Tim Yakteen barn, had a 105 Brisnet speed figure last time out. Fort Bragg seemed to tire a little bit there. Not bad for a horse. We just watched the Gotham and Iron Clover, who we talked about a mile, seemed to get a little bit tired there. But for the horse number 8, Go Rocket Ride, I always want to say Go Rocket Go, Go Rocket Ride, held on really well there for the first time going 2 turns. So that may be a horse there for the Richard Mandela barn to keep your eyes on where he goes next, especially beating out Hijazi, who's been on the Derby radar for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hijazi, my concern was always the distance with that horse fading a little bit down in the stretch. But you're right. Go Rocket Ride really showed, because that horse was also kind of interfered with, because Hijazi really went out wider coming for home, and both Fort Bragg and Go Rocket Ride had their paths altered because of that. And so for Go Rocket Ride to then kind of go back down on the rail and kind of re-rally a little bit, because it looked like that horse was losing a little bit of momentum around the 3rd turn. So very impressive effort. But Practical Move, I think, automatically kind of zooms up our leaderboard in terms of what we might expect from potential favorites here going into the Kentucky Derby, because now he is stacked up 2 really impressive efforts and has beaten one of the better fields and is kind of emerging as perhaps the class now out in that California circuit.
Yeah, I think it's a little disappointing not having National Treasure in the race. I think that, it's okay. He probably should have been I'm surprised he went off at 4-1 when you look at the odds there. That was a really good price for a horse like Practical Move, who you could very easily make an argument for. You had mentioned Hijazi probably not wanting the distance, and you're taking a maiden winner in the 8-go Rocket Ride,
Yeah.
so that to me was a really good price to get on Practical Move. If you were on top of that, out of Practical or by Practical Joke, out of a Dam by a Fleet Alex.
Yeah. Yeah. So
National Treasure
very,
is the disappointing part of this, though. You were hoping to see National Treasure today.
yeah, for sure. And National Treasure, we'll see. There was a little bit of a tender foot issue. Apparently, we'll see if we see him back at the Santa Anita Derby. As we've talked about a few times, that's a horse that will want all the ground that you want to give him, and is probably better at a mile and 1/8 than a mile and a quarter. But the big winner today is the OG Tim Yaktine Practical Move, winning the San Felipe. For Colin Sheehan, my name is Matthew DeSantis. Make sure to subscribe to Trust the Profits, and thank you for tuning in to our live San Felipe Stakes reaction.